humans are the
Hello
same,
everybody and welcome back.
except we call that light.
Bro, wait. Stop talking, Mavuka. Anyway, hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna be continuing yet again with the Archon Quest, since it's very long. And yeah, welcome back everyone. Gonna have so much fun. Wait a minute. Let me just... Oh. Fine. We'll use the other teleport waypoint. Alright. Let's see what we're gonna do today.
Nice and cool. Natland does rise with the sun!
Let's see how Paimon is doing, perhaps. Or... okay.
We come here often, so we shouldn't stand out. Let's sit here. Now, it's up to Vodyanica. Let's see how the conversation goes.
Mitya! Oh my god. Oh, he's so pretty.
Mr. Mitya! Over here! Over here!
Oh, sorry. I got a little held up on my way here. Now we have even less time than we planned. Go ahead and order some snacks and drinks. Whatever you like. Let me see. According to my schedule, we still have 25 minutes left.
You're really pressed for time today, huh? I was imagining this would be a leisurely chat. If you'd prefer, we can always reschedule for another afternoon when you have more time.
No need. Getting to meet the lead singer is a very precious opportunity for me. I'm not about to pass it up. I've already had to decline your invitation several times because our schedules rarely align. If I don't grab this chance while it's here, who knows when the next one will come around?
Well, it's very kind of you to make time just for me.
I'm not too sure, to be honest. But Snezhnaya is full of weird and wonderful things like that, so people tend not to bat an eye. I'm sure the same will go for the Eye of Grey and Paimon.
The reason I invited you out for tea and a chat today was to get some feedback from a true fan of the theater.
Well, I genuinely have nothing bad to say. No matter how many times I hear you sing, it never gets old. It always seems fresh and new somehow. Maybe it's because the more times I listen, the more details I notice. Or maybe you simply improve with every performance, delivering it better each time.
Thank you! I'm delighted to hear that! Could you give me any specific examples?
Oh, yeah. The piece you sang today, for example. Beneath the Frozen River? Hey, what's with you? I'm just praising a good performance. I always used to find that such a bleak and lonely song. But the more you listen, the more you realize that it's not as cold and nihilistic as it appears. When you really dig down into it, there's a certain level where you're surprised by the emergence of hope.
Wow, I'm impressed. I didn't expect you to pick up on that. Actually, I only tried out that angle after talking with a composer. Still, Beneath the Frozen River wasn't on today's program.
Oh, really? But it's a classic. You sing it every time.
Almost every time.
Oh, well then. Let me say a few words about that other all-time classic, Flying in the Wind from the Mountain Sparrow.
I didn't sing that one today either. My voice wasn't quite up to it, so I switched it out at the last minute.
Oh, but,
Sorry, Mr. Mitya, but you were at the theater today, yes?
Of course I was. Remember? I said hello to all the troupe members before the show started. You, Odette, and the others.
So, what did Odette sing today?
Elegy of the Snow-Winged Goose, of course.
Correct. I see. You find my singing boring, don't you? That's why you don't remember a single song. Looks like I'll need to cut a few from the program next time.
No, that's not it. I swear. All right. I'll be straight with you. I'm sorry. My mind was wandering as you took the stage today. I enjoy watching your shows because the exquisite performances stimulate the mind. It always sparks some inspiration for my research. So, whenever I get stuck at work, I come to the theater for a change of pace. Odette's dance during the elegy of the snow-winged goose today was simply incredible. It got me wondering what she's been going through recently. That look of sheer defiance in the face of utter tragedy? It was so inspiring. I started scribbling in my notebook right away. Not that I made a ton of progress in the grand scheme of things, but I still think it was productive. By the time I snapped out of it, the entire show had finished.
So what you're saying is, you didn't listen to my singing at all?
Aww.
Unfortunately not. I'm sorry, I don't know which is more disrespectful. The fact that I don't always come for the show itself, or the fact that I missed your performance.
Seems like things are getting a little awkward. Mitya just stepped into a conversational minefield. If there's one thing Vodyanitsa doesn't like, it's people who show disrespect for her performance. This meeting was so hard to set up. Don't tell me it's already falling apart.
It's fine. I suppose this is affirming in its own way. At least, it shows that our performance really touches people's hearts, right? Don't let it bother you. It certainly doesn't bother me.
She's showing a lot of restraint.
Well, I'll be sure to let Odette know how much you adored her performance.
Please don't say that. I always love your performances too. It's just that inspiration struck at the wrong time today. I'm usually all ears.
I know, I can tell. That's why I value your opinion. I'm sure some people can't stand it when others praise their coworkers right to their face, but not me. No, sir.
Fair enough. I still feel kind of bad, though.
But you know what I really can't stand? People who only show up to the theater to pretend that they're cultured. Makes me sick to my stomach.
Oh, yeah, 100%. There are too many of those people around. By the time they're walking out the door, they've forgotten all about the show. What's wrong? You look furious.
I don't know if you've heard about the boss of the Iskra manufacturing plant. He isn't even a theater investor, but he always demands the same privileges as actual investors. Box tickets only, premium drinks, even the right to request specific songs.
Well played, Vodyanitsa. Seems like she's harnessing her rage to steer the conversation back on track.
Now that you mention it, I've interacted with that guy before. I gotta say, everyone holds him up as an example of a benevolent businessman, but I don't know. I don't see it.
Yeah, he couldn't care less about what's happening on stage. He's just there to flaunt his social status. I hate that I have to prepare programs for guys like that. What's the big deal with that factory he runs anyway? I asked around a bit and heard some pretty shocking stories. Sounds like he's just another greedy capitalist.
Oh, really?
Yep, the things people are saying are pretty damning. Low wages, insanely long working hours, equipment running around the clock. And as if that's not bad enough, he also strictly forbids his employees from giving any kind of interview. Project Stuja has now been extended so many times, we're at the point where crystal rations for the common folk are barely enough to survive on. Yet he even wants to get his greedy hands on them just to boost his own profits. If the rumors are true, he's in serious violation of the law.
Interesting. So you've heard about it too.
What? So it's really true?
Who knows? I've only heard the same rumors you have. But there's no smoke without fire. The Rooster's been coming down on us hard lately, demanding that we track and trace every single batch of Crystal. My coworkers in the Department of Energy have been tearing their hair out over it.
The Rooster? I didn't realize he cared that much.
Yeah. Even though there are no restrictions on Crystal trading, the poor will wind up freezing to death if we let the rich buy as much as they want. That's clearly unfair. Looks like we'll need to arrange an investigation into the Iskra manufacturing plant as soon as possible. never knew you kept up with current affairs beyond the theater, Miss Vodyanitsa. You really have a heart for the common person. Most Fae in your position have long been indifferent to the plight of humans.
Well, those of us who choose to live in human cities are naturally going to pay attention to any significant upheaval. Isn't the rooster a Fae himself? I'm just surprised to learn that even someone with as much experience as him is getting so stressed out over Project Stuzha. What is the end goal of this project anyway?
This is it. We're finally going there.
I'm sure Mitya can sense on some level that she's fishing for information. But since their conversation is so relaxed, he might just let something slip.
It's stressing me out too. If I'd only made better progress with my research, things wouldn't have dragged on this long.
Oh, so your work is related to Project Stuzha?
That's right. The Armory Palace needs a brand new energy source. Not the power of the Light Realm, and not elemental energy. Right now, the only thing that meets the requirements is the power contained within stellar linchpins. But harnessing that power is costly. Each step of the process requires enormous amounts of Kresnik crystal, from extraction to quantification to attempts at conversion. Progress has been painfully slow, and the team is getting burned out as time goes by. Sometimes, I see people staring into space as if in a trance.
Could it be that this new energy source has side effects?
No, it doesn't affect us, because the energy is used for... Okay, I got it. Stop choking me. Sorry, I can't talk about that. I think we're all just exhausted. We've been working ourselves to the bone for so long with so little progress to show for it. It's no wonder people are struggling to stay motivated.
Seems like I owe you an apology. I shouldn't have gotten so mad at you for not paying attention during the show.
Don't worry about it. I count myself lucky, to be honest. I don't envy the people who work closely with the Tsaritsa herself. I'd much rather be in my current position. At least I don't have to shoulder any major responsibilities.
So they're trying to develop a completely new kind of energy. Yeah, censored by a scarf. Who would have thought?
Oh, dear. It looks like my time is up. I'm afraid I have to leave. I'm so sorry. We ended up barely talking about the theater.
That's okay. It was a pleasure chatting with you, really.
Let's make up for it next time. Yeah, hopefully once the work pressure eases up a little, I'll be able to focus more on the performance, and then we'll have more to discuss. We touched on some confidential issues today. I'd be grateful if you could keep it between us.
That could have gone worse.
Nice job. Why was Mitya in such a hurry to leave, though?
Sorry, routine inspection.
Okay, I haven't been commenting on the whole thing, but oh, is that it? Oh boy, hello. Oh my gosh,
Okay,
it's so hot.
let's go.
Okay, let me shut up for a
So
moment
he
there.
wasn't rushing to get back to work. He must have calculated that Valeri would find him here in exactly 25 minutes. That's frighteningly accurate.
One of the main duties of the Special Assignments Battalion is to ensure that important figures stick to their schedules.
All right, time for us to get going too. Excuse me, check please.
We'll settle our check too, then.
Oh, hello there. Mr. Mitya paid the check before leaving.
Oh?
He also asked me to pass on a message. He said it was an honor to share his tea break with Miss Vodyanitsa and her two friends.
Wait.
So he knew we were here all along? This raises a lot of questions. Did he deliberately mention the new energy source so that we'd overhear it?
Smart.
Maybe his work isn't confidential after all. Maybe the key here is the purpose of this new energy. I guess that's the next thing to look into. Vodyanitsa and Alosha have left. Time to head back and call it a day.
Okay. Well, well, well.
You're back! You're pretty early today. Paimon was just gonna mention that. After she woke up today, Paimon felt like her temperature was completely back to normal. But her strength still hasn't returned.
Aw.
Still, there's some good news. Paimon thinks she might have figured out the source of the problem. It's like there's some kind of mysterious power affecting Paimon. Paimon's never felt this way before during any of her travels.
Aw.
She only started feeling this way since we arrived in Snezhnaya.
That's right. The Armory Palace needs a brand new energy source.
Could that have something to do with this?
What is it? You're making that face again. You know, the one you get whenever you have a light bulb moment? So, they're trying to develop a new energy source here? And you think that might be why Paimon's feeling unwell? Well, Mitya denied that the energy they're researching has any side effects. Although, he did say that people working on the project have been having issues with their concentration and short-term memory. And even so, those are completely different symptoms from Paimon's. It's pretty faint, so it's kind of hard to tell. But, if anything, it seems like it's coming from roughly the same direction as the Armory Palace. Sure, Paimon's with you there. But how, though? The robot only has a limited amount of intel. Oh, great point! They argue about Project Stusha every day. If we could sit in on one of their sessions, we might pick up some new leads.
Oh, so we're gonna go to the parliament, kinda? Alright.
Yeah. Oh yeah. While you were out, Paimon tried all the yummiest looking desserts in the Potpourri restaurant. This one seemed right up your alley. So, Paimon saved some for you.
Is that honey
Try it
cake?
once you finish writing your letter.
Is that honey cake? My favorite dessert of all time. Oh my god. Oh, poor baby. She's sleeping. Wait until 2 days later. Oh my gosh, my phone is my phone is screaming. It's so hot. I have to fan my hands every once in a while just because it's hot and my hands are sweating. So
Alosha replied. He says that we won't be able to speak at the Veche, but he can arrange for us to attend as visitors. Time to get ready. Then head to the Snezhnograd Veche.
let's go, let's go. We're gonna see Childe in action. Let's go. Finally some good stuff. This is great. Bruh.
Miss Vodyanitsa, prima donna of the Korolievsky troupe. What a surprise meeting you here. Will you be sitting in on a session of the Veche?
Sorry, I'm not taking interviews today. Oh good, you're here. The session's about to begin. Let's get in.
Please wait, Miss Vodyanitsa. Could you introduce me to your new friend?
Why did she ignore her? Childe, oh my god, we're gonna see Childe. Excuse me, councilor Childe. Not just Childe. Okay. Oh, this is so pretty. This is good.
In summary, the energy management commitments made for the outgoing period have been delivered upon. Furthermore, both the production and consumption of Kresnik Crystal show clear signs of stabilizing. The relevant agencies have assessed the present circumstances and determined that the status quo can be sustained until the next period. For detailed statistics, I would refer you to the industry reports that have been distributed to all persons present. It should also be noted that while the recent blizzards have led to a significant increase in people's energy expenses, this is strictly a short-term phenomenon associated with a remotely located monster. Her Majesty the Tsaritsa is giving her full attention to this matter. We should have every confidence that it will be dealt with swiftly and conclusively. A financial report on disaster relief is also present in this report, courtesy of Pantalone.
Bro, look at him. Sitting all there, all giddy.
They cover the same old ground every single time. The rooster never seems to mind, but everyone else is getting tired of it. There's a general lack of trust. People aren't seeing any tangible benefits that affect them directly. Of course, none of that will be reflected in any of the reports on the table.
Yeah, if it weren't for these hard copy documents, I could have at least made something up. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just out here trying to hit my interview quotas. Bring out the kvass. Ever read it? Best-selling newspaper in town.
If I remember correctly, you guys don't even have a sales permit. You have to sell from stalls on the street.
Okay then, best-selling street stall newspaper in town. Still counts.
Order! We will now open the floor to the representatives. If there are no further substantive issues to discuss, we will then proceed to a vote on this motion.
Snezhnaya has a long tradition of treating members of the Fatui armed forces and their dependents favorably. But recent surveys shows that Fatui families in remote areas have access to 15% less crystal than the average civilian family in Snezhnograd. It's been said many times before, but it bears repeating now. There needs to be a clear and consistent rationale behind how crystal is allocated, or we will soon face immense public backlash.
Perhaps you wouldn't need to keep repeating yourself if you would hear me out for once. I say again, true consistency exists only in principle. In the real world, fairness is relative. You appear to treat resource allocation as a simple function of production and population. So what about when the equipment used in production breaks down? Have you factored that into your equation?
Dude, shut up.
Do you even know how long it's been since Snezhnaya last conducted a census?
If I knew the answers to questions like that, I'm sure I'd be a very wealthy man. And I doubt I'd be going by Childe. I'd like to bring the focus back to the specific issue I raised. Or do you wish to deny that favorable treatment for Fatui dependents is our long-standing policy?
It's easy to be a critic when there's no accountability.
Shut up.
That seems to be a running theme in the anti-Project Stuzha cohort. Defeat the ringleader and all other problems will magically resolve themselves. That's what they seem to think. But in case you aren't aware, not one jot in my report would change whether Project Stuzha continues or not.
So you have no intention whatsoever of finding a solution to this problem?
On the contrary, I'm the only one here who ever brings solutions.
Dude.
Childe opened by speaking up for the armed forces. Regraders struck back with style and a war of words ensued.
What is this, bruh? Cringe.
Our reporter was live on the scene to get the audience's reaction as it all unfolded. Who do you support? The people have spoken. Childe received raucous applause from the crowd as he pushed Regrator onto his back foot with a relentless barrage of questions. It had to be seen to be believed.
Now you see why they don't have a sales permit.
However this reporter wants to spin things, I haven't forgotten that Tartaglia was representing the Northland Bank when we first met in Liyue. So surely, their relationship can't always have been this strained.
You two are getting off topic. Let's focus on what the data is saying.
Mr. Pantalone, may I speak on your behalf?
Oh, please do. I'm more than happy to save my breath.
Bruh.
Crystal distribution policy undergoes modifications with each new period. The ultimate goal being to find the most reasonable method of allocation, which I believe is what Mr. Tartaglia also seeks. But I fear many may have been misled on this topic by extremist activists. To clarify, Project Stuja is not the root cause of the problem. It is merely a framework for resource distribution. The most recent reports all point to Snezhnaya's resilience and adaptability during this period of fine-tuning, and give clear indications that a distribution framework is improving with each iteration. To make drastic adjustments without first considering the risks would likely do more harm than good. It would be a waste of the hard-won experience we've gained to date.
Renowned scholar of finance, Arapov spoke up to clarify the fiscal logic, clearly alluding to social organizations like the Rokot in his words. With the notorious Lelek still active to this day, should the Rokot be held responsible? No, there is someone else to blame.
She's just rephrasing what Mr. Pantalone said. The Rokot are the critics he accuses of taking no responsibility for their actions. As for Lelek, you won't have heard of him yet. He's currently the most famous member of the Rokot. Well, more like infamous. Ending Project Stuja has become an obsession for him. Unlike the more decent ones among us, he believes that votes in the Veche are all that matter. So whether it's threats, coercion, or bribery, he'll use whatever means necessary to get people to change their vote.
And since we're already on the subject, what do you think of Lelek's methods? Are you for or against? Well, whatever the story is, his actions benefit us all. We stand with Lelek.
At least someone here wants to take this discussion seriously. I've been considering that issue myself. What you really need is more precise regional data, right? I think it would be easiest to let the Fatui handle it, since they're already in charge of Crystal shipments anyway. We may as well get them to collect some data while they're at it. Whatever you need, you can ask the Fatui to look into it for you. In terms of supervision, I think the Druzhna would be a good fit. I had hoped to discuss this with Miss Vesna, but sadly, she's not present.
I will be happy to take a note of your suggestions and present them to Commander Vesna for a decision upon her return. The Commander has always taken a keen interest in Project Stuja. However, given the Druzhna's demanding workload, I'm afraid it may prove difficult for them to provide any practical support.
Let us refrain from jumping to conclusions until a concrete and actionable plan is in place.
My apologies, Lord Rooster.
There are numerous issues to address here, including manpower, time sensitivity, and reporting lines. Nevertheless, I support drafting a proposal. Follow the usual procedure, and it can be raised as a new motion for all parties to evaluate at the appropriate time.
In that case, I'd like to share one thought before the proposal is drafted. The issue of time sensitivity was raised just now, which I presume relates to the official reports. In fact, the Energy Commission already collects regular statistics on each urban center and its surrounding area. Would these be of any use?
That's a good idea. I read every issue of Sviet-Lolaidovka's report, and although my focus is mostly on the section about equipment operation, the energy consumption statistics also yield a lot of insights.
Be that as it may, does no one see an issue with using local data to determine Crystal quotas? In the long term, it seems like a very risky solution.
Not if they are used purely for reference. So long as we have the report from the Northland Bank's headquarters to corroborate it, no one will be able to fool me.
Very well, then. It appears that this arrangement is acceptable to all parties.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
The members reached a provisional consensus on the issue of improving treatment for Fatui soldiers. Today, the prima donna of the Korailievsky troupe attended a session of the Snezhnograd Veche in the company of a dashing young man. The question on all our minds is, what is the true nature of their relationship?
Ain't nobody cares about
anything
that.
like that again, and I'm revoking your permission to interview the troupe. Got it?
Okay. Okay. Oh, bro, the Spiron of us, she's annoying.
Now then, if there are no further contributions from those present, we shall proceed to the final vote.
Hey, check it out! What made him vote against? Why now?
The votes have been tallied. Those in favor of continuing Project Stuzha total 61%, securing a clear majority.
That was too close. The margin has shrunk yet again. Chuganov was a huge loss.
I'll bet Lelek is behind this. I wonder how Pulcinella will respond this time.
Chuganov. I see. Lelek strikes again.
Yes, go, Lelek. Once Project Stuzha is defeated, our unwavering support at Bring Out the Kvass will finally pay off when we make our comeback. I can taste our victory already!
In accordance with the result of this vote, Project Stuzha will remain in effect until the next Veche period. Finally, may I remind us all, we debate only for the greater glory and solidarity of our nation. May the aurora shine ever on, and the tundra always stand firm. The session is concluded.
The rooster is cool. He's cool. He's cool. Is Child there? Can I talk to him? Or did he leave? Okay, I guess he left.
I have to say, I really wasn't expecting Chuganov to vote against Project Stuzha. Well, in principle, Snezhnaya's business and political elites ought to be the ones least likely to oppose it. As we heard, Project Stuzha is basically just a resource distribution framework that requires everyone to cut back during the winter. But even if the policy got cancelled, the Tsaritsa's energy needs wouldn't suddenly go down. The extra demand from the public would have to be filled from somewhere. So logically, the factories would have to take the hit. I got a letter from Mr. Mitya just before today's session. He said he's confirmed that there are issues around overtime and excessive energy consumption at the Iskra manufacturing plant. In a situation like this, once the Rooster receives the report, he'll order the factory to halt production and submit to an investigation before issuing a penalty. But that's a week-long process, and thus didn't make it onto the Veche agenda this time. I don't think he suspects anything so far. Exactly. And as you know, he's a very selfish person. I was originally gonna try and flip him after he received notice of the official sanctions. My plan was to convince him that the whole thing was completely unfair. Rather than just sit back and take the hit while his factory stopped production, he'd be better off voting to end Project Stuzha. At least that way, no one else would be able to make any money either, because all the factories would suddenly have more limited energy to work with.
Okay.
But now, he's already voted against it, which means someone must have used more forceful means to change his vote. Just like with everyone else who flipped. Yeah, no one knows why Lelek is so obsessed with ending Project Stuzha, But by the looks of it, he's inching closer and closer to success.
Lelik must have strong motivations, given how he'll stop at nothing to achieve his goal. Maybe he knows the full truth of Project Stuzha. Maybe my next step should be to focus on him.
Oh, right. What are your plans for the rest of the day? Shall we head out?
Hey, comrade. I noticed you were here during the debate.
Hello? Hello, child.
I didn't take you for a political enthusiast.
Greetings, Harbingers. I just happened to have some free time today, and my new friend here thought it might be fun to check out the Veche.
Fun.
Ah, Odette must have introduced you. Looks like you two are getting along pretty well.
I'll leave you to catch up. I should head back to the troop.
Sure. Break a leg and all that. Thought it might be fun to check out the Veche, did you? Things are never that simple with you, Traveler. There's no way you're here for kicks and giggles. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh, yeah. To some, he's a captivating enigma. To others, he's the bane of their existence. No one ever thought that some anonymous nobody from the Rokot could cause such a stir. Huh? You want to look into Lelik? Then I'm sure his days of anonymity are numbered. What do you think, Sandrone?
Fine by me, I guess. If the Traveler actually manages to expose Lelik, it'll be doing Pulcinella a favor. In return, it seems fair to let him in on what we've learned so far.
My thoughts exactly. Sharing is caring, after all. Head back to Glupov and grab the files on Lelik. It's easier to just pull the records than go through the rigmarole of getting the Traveler a visitor's permit.
As you command, child, sir.
In that case, since we're going to be waiting anyway, I'll have someone brew a pot of black tea.
One common thread among the many incidents Lelik has been involved in is that the victims are all too scared to share any real information about him. Clearly, he must have threatened them in some way. His modus operandi is to silently infiltrate the scene and leave a threatening letter behind. But neither the letters nor the crime scenes ever yield any clues to his identity. So all these files have to offer are short statements by the people affected. They don't give us a lot to go on.
If nothing else, it shows we're dealing with a trained professional who's versed in counter-surveillance.
Yes, and to that point, he often strikes in highly secure locations. The victims are high-ranking and influential people who take their personal security very seriously. Somehow, Lelik slips right into their rooms without making a sound. There's never any eyewitnesses, nor the slightest trace of a break-in. If he can get in and out undetected, it means he can strike without warning. Not that that's ever happened so far, but the thought is enough to scare these people sleepless. It's hard to believe that a human being could pull this off flawlessly every time, so they switched the focus of the investigation to Faye. Unfortunately, no one's found anything yet. Careful, don't underestimate me. Although truth be told, I'd probably find it hard not to blow my cover. Direct confrontation is more my style.
We haven't ruled out the possibility of Lelik being human. It's just, there can only be a handful of people in all of Teyvat who'd fit the profile. Faye, on the other hand, plenty would have the ability, but few would have the motive.
No, not as strong as me. You'll never find the culprit with criteria like that. Let's go with a little weaker than me. There's no denying that Master is strong, but meticulous. We can only hope.
He's just trying to find a reference point. Stop getting fixated on who's stronger than you.
But that's the most important thing. In my opinion, anyway.
Typical child.
Odette? Yeah, that seems about right. Her skills are solid, and she's always calm under pressure.
Except she's Fatui, so the likelihood of her working against us is pretty low. But yeah, much more accurate than your previous example, at least.
No, wait a moment. Maybe we should interrogate that assumption.
What do you mean? Which assumption?
Her Fatui identity doesn't necessarily exonerate her. And when you think about it, the Rokot would be precisely what she needs to conceal her identity.
Ooh.
Plus, she wouldn't need to be such a pro at covering her tracks. She'd already know where the Fatui will be and when, so she could choose the perfect time to act. Oh, yikes. I was just thinking out loud. Why is this starting to sound like such a convincing theory? Still, what reason could Odette possibly have for trying to call off Project Stuzha?
Arlecchino would be the best person to ask. She knows Odette best. Unfortunately, she isn't back yet. Rosaline used to open up to her in private about her struggles with Odette. As I'm sure you can imagine, Arlecchino is quite a lot better with children than Rosaline was. She gave her some tips on how to handle the situation, and Rosaline managed to reach a settlement with Odette before leaving. So I suppose there were at least no lifelong regrets left behind. Beyond that, I don't know the details about that side of things. But I do know that Odette definitely has a motive to hold a grudge against Project Stuzha. The reason being, her father passed away during the early stages of the project.
Oh.
That was back before it had been named Project Stuzha, when things were still being worked out. But in essence, it's remained the same ever since.
Huh. The more you know. Rosaline was always so self-centered. I never understood why she started paying so much attention to Odette. Is that such a surprise? If you cast your mind back, you may remember that Rosaline and I weren't exactly close. We had tea together a few times, but that was about it.
Odette's past is no secret. Her father was a Fatus and her mother was a very famous ballerina. On the surface, it looks like she followed right in her parents' footsteps. But the truth is quite a different story. After her father passed away on a mission, her mother was overcome with grief. She broke her leg during a performance and could never dance again.
That's so sad.
Odette was only interested in ballet at the time, but this tragedy left the family with both breadwinners gone. They could barely make ends meet. Per Capitano's policy, family members of Fatui who died in the line of duty had to be appropriately accommodated and provided with adequate assistance. So, regardless of how Rosaline may have felt about it, it fell to her to resolve the issue of Odette's family's livelihood. In the end, the solution they agreed upon was to have Odette join the Fatui.
Right, because the alternative would have been a one-off compensation payment, I guess. In that sense, joining up was definitely the better option. Still, she must have had mixed feelings about it, right? If she doesn't even like the Fatui.
It's just a theory. A possibility. But as a motive for Odette to become Lelik, it holds up. That said, I have no idea where Odette's head is at right now, or what her conflict with Rosaline was about. Plenty of people were on bad terms with Rosaline. I have no intention of trying to figure it all out. Yes, but there's not much point in discussing that now.
Yeah, back to Lelik. Since our investigations so far have turned up next to nothing, we've got nothing to lose by trying a new angle. Funnily enough, Tonya and I had actually made plans to go to the theater tomorrow to watch Odette's rehearsal. Unfortunately, thanks to this Lelik situation, I'll be stuck working overtime again. Which means you can go in my place. No point wasting the ticket. Plus, you'll get to meet Tonya.
Aw, that's so cute.
Spirit Seeker. Quite the classic ballet. It was passed down through Odette's mother's family for generations, though it hasn't been performed in years. But Odette's been practicing it diligently, and it's finally ready for a return to the stage. Excitement is through the roof. Tickets for the official performance sold out long ago.
Tonya's excited for it too. She's desperate to see it no matter what. Personally, it's not really my kind of thing, but since she's my little sister,
I had to figure something out.
I've actually seen it several times before. The story's pretty straightforward. The lead character follows a trail of clues left behind by a spirit, gradually recovering her memories along the way. It's a tale of love and regret. So not exactly reinventing the wheel, at least by today's standards. But when that classic melody kicks in and the lead character begins to dance, it always gets me. It really is beautiful. Not an easy dance to do justice to, though. I know it's always been Odette's dream to perform this piece, but I'm not sure she's really ready.
In that case, I think that even if she... I'll let you take it from here, comrade.
Wait, what did he say? I didn't... Oh my god, I'm sorry, I pressed by mistake. In that case, I think that if she is Lilac, we should wait until her performance is over before we respond, okay? Okay. Oh, bruh, this Archon Quest is so long. Exit. 46 minutes, like every video is taking like a long time to finish. Why is it so long?
Light it up.
Haven't even finished the first act of the quest. Like, this is crazy.
Sounds like you've made a ton of progress today. It's good that everything's going so smoothly. Next step is to head back to the theater and get a clear answer from Odette. Either way, Paimon doesn't get the sense that she's a bad person. Sure, she might have done some pretty extreme things, but Paimon bet she has her reasons. Maybe this is going too far, but like, with everything she's managed to do so far, wouldn't it make more sense in theory to be even more, you know, heavy-handed? Why leave a letter when she could, well, we know there are plenty of other ways to keep people in line, right? The point is, she could have gone further, but she didn't. So, if it is her, she's got some principles at least. Yeah! Well, all you can do is follow the facts wherever they lead. No change, really. But that thing Paimon told you about yesterday? Paimon feels like she can sense it more clearly now. Hearing you talk about your day makes Paimon itch for an adventure. If only she could be there with you so we could experience it all together.
Yeah, I wish you could be there too. I'm not used to adventuring alone. But don't worry, we'll get to the bottom of this.
Guess it's just one of those things. Never mind. Paimon will behave herself and keep resting.
Oh, okay.
If Odette is Lelik, she may well have inside information on Project Stuja. Her father was involved with the project's early implementation and tragically died in the process. Now, she's dedicated herself to bringing it to an end. It's hard to imagine she could have gotten this far without knowing anything at all about the Tsaritsa's true intentions. When she spoke to us as a member of the Fatui, how much did she let on? And how much was she hiding? Only time will tell. Maybe tomorrow, everything will be answered.
Hey look! It's snowing! Could be a tough day ahead. Make sure you wrap up warm tomorrow.
Finally! Oh my god! Finally! Whoa! Hey yo! Hey yo! Finally finished Act 1! Let's go! Thank you all for watching. I'm gonna stop here and begin the Act 2 in another video. Thank you all. Don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. And it's always good to have you here watching my videos. Thank you so much. Love you all. Bye bye.